Welcome back to Snoozy Facts. And if this is your first time here, you've found a quiet place to unwind. This channel is all about soft-spoken curiosity, where each fact flows into the next, like a gentle stream guiding you toward sleep. Tonight's episode is a longer journey through ancient time, strange creatures and quiet marvels, and a slow drift through wonder. If this helps you relax, tap like to let us know, and subscribe so you'll always have a peaceful place to return to. Now, let's begin. Learn something new before you snooze. The Earth is about 4.5 billion years old, but for most of that time, there were no flowers. They didn't appear until around 130 million years ago. Before that, the world bloomed only in ferns, mosses, and cones. The oldest living tree is over 4,800 years old. It's a bristlecone pine, growing quietly in the White Mountains of California. Its exact location is kept secret to protect it from harm. Octopuses have 3 hearts. 2 pump blood to the gills, and 1 to the rest of the body. When they swim, the heart that serves the body stops beating, which is why they prefer to crawl. The moon is slowly drifting away from Earth, about 3.8 centimeters per year. In the distant future, it will take longer for the moon to orbit us, and Earth's days will grow longer too. Bananas are berries, but strawberries are not. Botanically speaking, a berry must come from a single ovary, and bananas fit the bill. Strawberries do not. Sloths can hold their breath longer than dolphins, up to 40 minutes. They slow their heart rate dramatically and barely move, a perfect strategy for staying hidden from predators. There's a species of jellyfish that can revert to its juvenile form. It's called Turritopsis dohrnii, and it may be biologically immortal. It doesn't die of old age, it just starts over. The Eiffel Tower grows in the summer. When the metal heats up, it expands. The tower can grow by about 6 inches on a hot day and shrink again when it cools. Wombat poop is cube-shaped. It helps prevent the droppings from rolling away. Wombats use them to mark territory, and the shape helps them stack neatly on rocks and logs. In space, you can't cry the same way. Tears don't fall. They gather in little floating blobs, clinging to your eyes and cheeks. Butterflies taste with their feet. Their legs have sensors that help them detect sugars in plants. They land and know instantly if a leaf is worth staying on. The deepest part of the ocean is called the Mariana Trench. It's over 36,000 feet deep. If you dropped Mount Everest into it, the peak would still be underwater. Koalas have fingerprints, so similar to humans that even under a microscope, they're hard to tell apart. A tiny marsupial mystery. Your stomach gets a new lining every few days. It's constantly regenerating to protect itself from its own acid. A quiet rebuild happening without you noticing. The word alphabet comes from the first 2 Greek letters, alpha and beta. Together, they gave us the name for the entire system of writing. Some turtles can breathe through their butts. It's called cloacal respiration, and it helps them survive underwater for long periods, especially during winter hibernation. Rain smells good because of a compound called geosmin. It's released by soil-dwelling bacteria, and our noses are incredibly sensitive to it. Even tiny amounts trigger that earthy scent. The human nose can detect over 1 trillion scents, more than we can name, more than we can describe. Smell is our most ancient sense and the most emotional. A group of flamingos is called a flamboyance. They gather in bright pink clusters, wading through shallow waters and dancing in synchronized steps. The longest hiccuping spree lasted 68 years. Charles Osborne started hiccuping in 1922 and didn't stop until 1990. He lived a full life with over 430 million hiccups. The human body glows. We emit a faint light, about 1,000 times weaker than our eyes can detect. It's caused by chemical reactions in our cells, a quiet shimmer, hidden in plain sight. Penguins have knees. They're just hidden beneath layers of feathers and fat. Their legs bend, but their waddle hides emotion, a secret stride in a tuxedo. The word robot comes from a Czech play. In 1920, RUR introduced the term from robota, meaning forced labor. The word spread and shaped science fiction forever. Some frogs freeze solid in winter. Their hearts stop. Their blood turns to ice. And when spring returns, they thaw and hop away. The average cloud weighs over 1 million pounds, but it floats because the water droplets are spread out. A sky full of weightless weight. The smell of fresh-cut grass is actually a distress signal. Plants release chemicals when damaged, and we interpret it as pleasant, a sweet scent born of survival. The longest living animal is a clam. One specimen, named Ming, was over 500 years old. It lived quietly on the ocean floor until scientists discovered it and accidentally ended its life. Your bones are constantly rebuilding. Every 7 to 10 years, you have a mostly new skeleton, a quiet renovation happening beneath your skin. The Sahara Desert wasn't always dry. Thousands of years ago, it was lush and green, covered in lakes and home to hippos. Cats can't taste sweetness. They lack the receptors. So while we enjoy sugar, they remain indifferent. Their cravings lie elsewhere. The human heart creates enough pressure to squirt blood over 30 feet. It beats over 100,000 times a day, quietly powering everything you do. Some spiders can fly. They release silk threads and let the wind carry them. It's called ballooning, and it's how baby spiders explore the world. The word quarantine comes from the Italian 40 giorni, meaning 40 days. Ships arriving in Venice during the plague had to wait 40 days before docking. A day on Venus is longer than its year. It takes 243 Earth days to rotate once, but only 225 days to orbit the Sun. Time moves strangely in space. Elephants mourn their dead. They touch the bones, stand silently, and sometimes return to the same spot years later. Grief is not just human. The shortest war in history lasted 38 minutes. It was between Britain and Zanzibar in 1896. A brief burst of conflict, then silence. Your brain uses about 20% of your body's energy. Even when you're resting, it's always active, always processing, even in sleep. Some ants farm. They cultivate fungus, feed it with leaves, and harvest it for food. Tiny gardeners working underground. The longest living insect is the termite queen. She can live up to 50 years, hidden deep in the colony, laying thousands of eggs year after year. The word dinosaur means terrible lizard. Coined in 1842, it captured the awe and fear these fossils inspired. But many dinosaurs were feathered and bird-like. The moon has moonquakes. Caused by tidal forces and meteor impacts, they can last up to an hour. A silent tremble on a silent world. Some fish can walk. The mud skipper uses its fins like legs to move across land. It breathes through its skin and spends more time out of water than in it. The word museum comes from the Greek musion, a temple dedicated to the muses, the goddesses of art, history, and science, a house of inspiration. Jellyfish don't have brains, or hearts, or bones, yet they've survived for over 500 million years, drifting and pulsing through time. The average person walks the equivalent of 5 times around the Earth in their lifetime, step by step, without ever noticing. Some lizards can squirt blood from their eyes. It's a defense mechanism, startling predators with a sudden red spray, nature's surprise tactic. The coldest temperature ever recorded on Earth was minus 144 degrees Fahrenheit in Antarctica. So cold that breathing the air could freeze your lungs. The word pencil comes from the Latin peniculus, meaning little tail. Early pencils were brushes, not sticks of graphite. A newborn kangaroo is the size of a jelly bean. It crawls into its mother's pouch and continues developing for months. A tiny traveler in a living cradle. The Great Wall of China isn't a single wall. It's a network of walls and fortifications built over centuries, stretching more than 13,000 miles. The human eye can distinguish about 10 million colors, but we can't see ultraviolet unless our lenses are removed. Some people who've had eye surgery report seeing colors they never saw before. A group of crows is called a murder, but they're highly intelligent, able to recognize faces, use tools, and even hold grudges. The word window comes from Old Norse, vinduga, meaning wind eye, a hole to let in air and light, and sometimes a view of the stars. Some whales sing songs that travel thousands of miles, low-frequency calls echoing through the ocean, a deep, distant chorus. The oldest known recipe is for beer, written on a Sumerian tablet over 3,900 years ago. Grain, water, and thyme, a tradition older than writing itself. Snails can sleep for years. In dry conditions, they enter a state of dormancy, waiting patiently for rain. The human body contains enough iron to forge a small nail, enough carbon to make 9,000 pencils. We are stardust, arranged with purpose. Some mushrooms glow in the dark. It's called bioluminescence, and it may help attract insects to spread spores, a quiet light in the forest floor. The word serendipity comes from a Persian fairy tale, the princes of Serendip, who made discoveries by accident, a happy surprise born from wandering. A giraffe's neck has the same number of vertebrae as yours, 7, each one just much longer, stretching toward the sky. The platypus doesn't have a stomach. Food goes straight from its esophagus to its intestines. No acid bath, just a quiet bypass. Some sea cucumbers fight by ejecting their own organs. They shoot sticky threads and internal bits to confuse predators. Later, they regrow what was lost. The word galaxy comes from the Greek galaxias, meaning milky, named after the Milky Way, a river of stars across the night sky. Owls can rotate their heads up to 270 degrees. They have extra neck vertebrae and special blood vessels to keep circulation flowing, a silent swivel in the dark. The largest living organism is a fungus. It's in Oregon and spans over 2,000 acres underground, a hidden network older than the trees above it. A day on Earth used to be only 22 hours long. As the planet's rotation slows, our days gradually lengthen. Time is always shifting. The fingerprints of koalas are so similar to humans, they've confused crime scene investigators, a marsupial mystery in the forensic world. Some birds sleep while flying. They shut down half their brain and keep the other half alert. A drifting nap on the wing. The word trivia comes from Latin. Tri meaning 3 and via meaning roads. It referred to common knowledge found where paths crossed. The Amazon rainforest produces 20% of the world's oxygen. It's often called the lungs of the earth. But it also absorbs massive amounts of carbon dioxide, balancing the breath of the planet. Some insects see in slow motion. Flies process visual information faster than humans, which helps them dodge swats and navigate with precision. The word lunatic comes from Luna, the moon. Ancient beliefs linked madness to the phases of the moon, a quiet superstition still echoing in language. The blue whale's heart is the size of a small car. It beats slowly, about once every 10 seconds, a deep rhythm in the ocean's silence. Some trees communicate through underground networks. They share nutrients, send distress signals, and support their young. A forest with hidden conversations. The human body has more bacterial cells than human ones. Most are helpful, living in harmony. You are a walking ecosystem. The word nostalgia once meant homesickness. It was considered a medical condition, a longing for familiar places. Now, it's a gentle ache for the past. Starfish can regenerate lost arms. Some can even regrow their entire bodies from a single limb. A quiet resilience in the tide. The sound of waves can slow your heartbeat. It mimics the rhythm of your breath and calms the nervous system. Nature's lullaby. Some birds see ultraviolet light. Their feathers reflect patterns we can't see, used for mating and camouflage. A hidden spectrum in plain sight. Your brain creates dreams from fragments, memories, emotions, random thoughts. It weaves them together into stories that vanish with waking. You've reached the end of tonight's journey. Thank you for spending this quiet time with us. Whether you're still awake or already drifting into dreams, we're grateful you chose to wind down here. If this helped you relax, tap like. It really supports the channel. And subscribe so you won't miss the next soft stream of facts. New episodes are always on the way, always gentle, always curious. Learn something new before you snooze. Good night.